guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Dimmitt Chevrolet in Clearwater, Florida. And guess what? I have that one nameplate that's been around in Chevy's lineup since the 1930s. It's this vehicle right here. This is it. This is a 2024 Chevrolet Suburban. This particular one is the Premier trim. But before we get into this supersized, largest vehicle that Chevy currently sells, SUV-wise, let's talk about what's going on here. For decades, the Suburban has always been that go-to for people that want the perfect family hauler. Now, what's interesting is over the decades, vehicles have gotten larger, but the Suburban has always been that vehicle that's been large and in charge and continues that way for model year 2024. So basically, you want a Tahoe, but you need more room, you go Suburban. In the auto industry, there is a lot of competition. What I want to find out is, if you're looking for the family truckster, you're Clark Griswold, you're going on a trip across the country to Wally World, which way are you going to go? Jeep Wagoneer, GMC Yukon XL, Ford Expedition, or are you going with this big boy, the Chevrolet Suburban? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Suburban and find out. Right off the bat, the color. Normally red SUVs don't do it for me, but radiant red really fits the body lines very well. And even on an overcast day is a nice color, but when the sun comes out, it really pops like a ruby. At the front of the business, even on the Premier trim, you are gonna get full LED headlights. Love the way the new style looks when they did the refresh a couple years ago. Your LED daytime running lamps and turn signals. And then of course you have your massive corner air curtains, fully functional. Some chrome trim along the bottom. I am gonna zonk this area though, this fake vent. They should have put a fog lamp here. I think LED fog lamps would have looked great. But definitely from the front, it has a real true presence to it. Premier trim is sort of in the middle. I think you're gonna be surprised with how much it brings. Remember, if you want the top trim, that's gonna be the high country. But on this Premier trim, you do have the shiny chrome going across the top portion. You got your chrome accents, forward-facing camera, that Chevrolet bow tie going all the way back to the early 1900s with Louis Chevrolet. And then of course, going all the way down, that little bit extra chrome trim. And then for some reason, they have this fake vent here in the center. I don't know why they did that. So I am gonna zonk it, but it would have been nice. Let me know how you feel about it in the comment section if this had some LED lighting, fog lamps on the bottom portion. Now, as we rise up, hood looks great. Nice and bold. You got a nice fold that goes across the front, a peak in the center that evaporates, and then you have the extra divots on the sides to really give it some nice flow. As we flow around the bend, what did we get? Wheel and tire stuff. Now, when you go Premier, you're gonna be surprised. 20-inch wheels, 275 on the width, meaty 60 series sidewall. It's a hand-polished aluminum wheel. I like the fact that they don't do any flat black around the fender openings. It's all radiant red, looks beautiful. Coming down the side, you are gonna get matching chrome mirror caps. Some of you might think it's crap, but a mirror cap, chrome finish, just like the grille, LED lighting, and 360-degree cameras. The Suburban badge, like I said, going back to the 1930s. And then on the Premier trim, you do have the stationary running boards. Perfect if you have a bunch of kids that need to climb into the back. I like the fact that they added the chrome strip along the edge just to kind of tie it all in. And I also like the fact that they don't hang down super low. They're actually usable, functional, but they also look good. Up top, we have that aluminum polished roof rail. You could get your crossbars. You can mount just about anything, including Aunt Edna. You could put her up on the roof. Door handles have body colored with a little bit of chrome finish. And then we only have the shiny bright metalwork along the bottom portion. What's interesting, if you look at the Jeep Wagoneer, they put chrome all the way around the window openings, and that looks a little heavy. It makes the vehicle look even bigger and heavier than what it already is. I like the way Chevrolet did that. Working towards our rear, we have that extra length. Tahoe usually stops right about here, but Suburban, you get the full length of a, remember, body on frame SUV. This is not a crossover. This is a body on frame SUV. We get to the tail end of the business, and look, wiper is hidden. You see how clean that looks when the wiper is hidden? It's tucked underneath that nice long roof spoiler, all the way in there with that roof spoiler looking good. Of course, we have our nice tail lights. The problem is that they're the old-fashioned light bulbs. So turn signals are the light bulbs. I am gonna zonk that, but you do have some extra chrome to finish it off. The Suburban name, Premier trim. That's not my favorite part. My favorite part is that quad tip exhaust. Sexy as can be. Nice staggered tips with the stainless steel setup on it. And what's great is we got that V8 underneath the hood. This cover comes off so that you can fully tow with your Suburban. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk horsepower of this family truckster. All right, guys, we got the massive hood popped. Underneath the hood is your standard engine. Not necessarily a bad thing, because guess what? We got a 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8. Now, when we're talking about the engine, how much horsepower does it pump out? 383 horsepower, 365 pound-feet of torque. It's made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission. You could tow up to 7,800 pounds. MPGs, 16 in the city and 20 on the highway. So nice to see that flexibility with a naturally aspirated V8. You can get more power if you want, the 6.2 liter, or you could also get a Duramax turbo diesel engine. But why don't we go ahead? We got that beautiful exhaust out back. Let's fire this thing up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we are inside this radiant red 2024 Chevrolet Suburban, and this is the Premier trim. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I really want a bigger vehicle. My significant other and I have been like rabbits. We're now up to our 10th kid. It's either this or a school bus, one or the other. And I really don't want to drive a school bus. How much is this Suburban Premier? Very good question. And you might want to get something handled after your 10th kid. Don't go for number 11. Usually that's bad luck. But anyways, this one MSRP right at $78,000. We'll see how it compares to the competition. To the door panels. I'm loving the two-tone material. The tan with that wood grain looks very classy. You got white contrast stitching up top, all soft touch material, no gloss black. In the center there, you could easily put 4 Kentucky Fried Chicken legs in there. And then down below, you could put a Jimmy John's 9-inch sub, extra lettuce, extra pickle, just the way you want it. And of course, a bottle of Mountain Dew to wash it down. And we have the Bose multi-speaker sound system. Going from the door panel to the dash, it continues. Love the perforated leather style material, the stitching, the wood trim, looks really great. What's kind of interesting is they give you a secret compartment. Well, it's not that much of a secret because it's right here, but you open this up, you could easily put your iPhone 42 Gold Edition in there, and it's not going to get scratched because it's all felt lined. Then you could close it up. Of course, you have your standard floating iPad style 10-inch infotainment system. This does have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. I like the way this material is here because as you're operating through the system, you have a place to rest your fingers. Cameras, GM has the best in the business. Trajectory 360. You can check out those 20-inch wheels, bling bling, and then we're right back where we started. This is your push-pull transmission selector. setup for your 10-speed automatic. You pull for drive, you push for neutral, you pull for reverse, and you push for park. Push, pull, transmission setup. We have real knobs, real buttons. I love the way you have dual climate control, and you're gonna have ventilated seats, 3 stages, and 3 stages of heated seats. Love the way you have that, all easily accessible. USB-C, USB-A, a 12-volt, has a spring-loaded door. Wireless charging, 2 cup holders. We have our Chevrolet bow tie. You can wear your bow tie as you drive your Chevrolet Suburban. We got remote start and everything. More of that great material. We have a nice little area here where you can put a box of gobstoppers, everlasting gobstoppers. And then you have your center console. Nice soft touch material. Watch this though. Steven's gonna focus here and I'm gonna hit the magic button. Dun, 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 dun. So, remember how I was talking about Kentucky Fried Chicken? You could put a bucket, that 12-piece bucket, couple biscuits in there, some gravy, and just have it right here and just finger licking good. Right there. Or, besides the chicken, you could put also some napkins because you're going to not want to get greasy fingerprints all over this beautiful interior. And then the nice thing is when you're done, dun, 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 dun. If you pay me, I'll give you a recording of that so you can play it every time you move it. Open it up. You got enough room in there. I would say probably 6 Rubik's Cubes. So if you've been practicing, hopefully you wipe your hands, but if you've been practicing for the Rubik's Cube competition, you can keep 6 of your practice cubes in there. I remember when I was a kid, I saw the Rubik's Cube. You know how I did it? I peeled off all the stickers and just put all of them back color coordinated. And I said, look, I solved it. That's what I did. But anyways, moving on. The leather, the piping, perforated, soft material, electric assist for the passenger, and then of course, electric assist for the driver. And then you have this ginormous panoramic sunroof. So they do have you covered very nicely with that power shade. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel in the Suburban. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of the Suburban. You're going to have your nice, tasteful aluminum sill plate with the Chevrolet name there. So much history. Of course, you're going to have 2 memory seat settings for the driver's seat and all those power seat controls, which are great. I'm 6 feet tall, and like I said, this is the largest SUV Chevy makes. So if you need something bigger, you're going to have to go with the school bus. I'm sorry. And maybe get the little, so you don't have to worry about number 11. Steering wheel, black leather all the way around, flat black on the switch gear. It is a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel. And this particular model is rear-wheel drive that we're in. It's not 4-wheel drive. You do have your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, easy to read, nice clean graphics, and there's a massive head-up display. But why don't we go ahead, we're gonna do the mid-row and the third row all in one shot because that's how we roll on Rady's Rides. So let's get in the backseat area and see what the heck is there. All right, guys, mid-row time in this 3-row mega-size SUV. Now, you do have captain's chairs in the mid-row. Love the way it's got the beefy armrest. This is what an armrest is supposed to look like on a captain's chair. And I love the way the leather and everything matches the seats up front. They do slide, which is great, and they also recline. They recline a pretty good amount, so I'm happy about that. You got the large pockets. Put a couple books back here for your kids, maybe 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Treasure Island, Charlotte's Web. Get them reading. I feel like kids don't read anymore. They watch TikTok all day. If they're watching Rady's Rides TikTok, I guess that's fine. But I don't even want that. I want them to read. Command center, you do have your rear AC controls with all the digital display. Only heated seats, no ventilated seats. And that's a zonk to me at around $78,000, $79,000. USB-Cs, home power source, and we got our 2 cup holders. I feel really comfy back here. Your AC vents are mounted high up in the headliner. But like I said, we're gonna do this in one shot. I'm gonna hold this. This is the transmitter, and I'm gonna get into the back, and then I'm gonna show you how the seat moves. You see my hand right here? Look, Steven, over here. Watch this. I'm gonna pull. Boom, look at that. Boom. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I have the seat. You saw it. First of all, I got to fix my watch band here because this is like one of my pet peeves when I have my watch band dangling. Nobody wants that. You saw it. I have the seat all the way back from where I was sitting. My knees are not even close to touching the back of the seat. Plus, they're nice and low because remember, we have independent rear suspension in this Suburban. Headliner, they carve out nicely like a pumpkin, so you got plenty of room. And then what's really great is USB-Cs, a little bit of a tray for some Skittles, and the seat material looks exactly the same as everybody else's so that the people in the third row don't have to be peasants. It's not like a dungeon back here. Feels good. But anyways, let's get into the cargo area and see what you could haul in the family truck system. All right, guys, cargo area time. It's not just about your junk. It's also about how much junk you could put in the back. You have over 40 cubic feet of space with the third row up. This is as large as it's gonna get from Chevrolet. You open up this back area, you could put all of the snacks, the cupcakes, the Little Debbie's cream-filled oatmeal cookie pie things, Twinkies, the whole shabam. On the passenger side, we have all of our important switch gear. So this is gonna allow you to lower the third row, the second row, and you have a home power source. I'm gonna go ahead and lower the third row real quick for you. Nice, simple, look at that. 60-40 split, woo! You fold down that mid row, you're looking at over 144 cubic feet of space. This is essentially a rolling apartment. So if you get kicked out of the house for something that you did, or maybe something that you didn't do, get yourself an air mattress and you can live out of this freaking thing. But why don't we go ahead? I'm not in the doghouse. I don't know about you, but what I want to do is I want to go on throttle. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a little spin in this big Suburban. All right, guys, we're leaving Dimmitt Chevrolet. We're in this 2024 Suburban. Premier trim, second from the top. What's interesting is that you get so much in this vehicle and you're not even at the top trim. Getting to that infotainment system is well within reach. You got all the different cameras you could think of, all the different angles. Love the way you could do it while you're in motion. Very quick reacting, your climate controls. It's all built in nicely into the infotainment system screen setup. Going down the road, the way the suspension just soaks up all the bumps. And if you've never driven this size of vehicle, with all the technology that it has, things have gotten much, much easier. Love the digital gauge cluster, head-up display, nice large mirrors, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise. Like I said, you could check off so many boxes with this vehicle. And then it just has the room that you need and the smooth ride that you want. But we're gonna go on throttle. You ready? On throttle, here we go. So that 5.3 liter V8, plenty of grunt. It's a linear torque delivery because, you know, when you look at the competition, you're looking at a lot of turbocharged engines, smaller displacement turbocharged engines. And what happens is that you got to wait for the boost. With this, it's a nice linear torque delivery. And if you want more power, you could get it with the 6.2 liter V8 that has 420 horsepower. This has 355 horsepower. But going down the road, just a joy to drive. I love the fact that it's got real knobs, buttons, switches. You got plenty of storage for all the stuff and all the junk you need. And then you got plenty of room for your 10 kids. So there you go. I mean, there's nothing bigger that Chevy has. But going down the highway, even with the 20-inch wheels, you got a nice compliant ride. Not a bunch of road noise, not a bunch of wind noise. And these seats feel dynamite. The lower cushion is nice and large. The back portion of the seat really allows you to kind of sit in the seat rather than on the seat. And the technology, like your digital rear view mirror, allows you to have a bird's eye view of what's going on around you and your Suburban. But the fact that you can scroll through tons of different information on the dash, you got your different drive modes, which are nice. Sport, of course you got normal, who the hell wants to do that? And then you got snow and ice, which is great. Even though this doesn't have all-wheel drive or any type of 4x4, you're still gonna have the ability to take it in those snowy conditions and have a chance of being able to drive and not get stuck with the different drive modes, because that's going to adjust how the transmission and the engine behave with one another, throttle sensitivity and steering. Which what I like about it is that even in sport mode, the steering feels great. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. I think they got it perfect. And I think that's another thing where you're going to be just blown away is by how light on her feet she is. She drives really, really well, rides really, really well, but also handles well for its size. But visibility is just great in this thing. And you just feel safe. And that's, you know, one of the things that you want when you're driving around with your families. You want to keep them safe. And you're able to do that in the Suburban with no problem. Here we go. On throttle. So like I said, passing power, merging power, or getting onto an on-ramp, it's there. I would personally opt for the 6.2 liter, but you still have plenty of go with this Suburban. And if you're doing a lot of trailering, say you got a big old boat or a camper, you could get the Duramax turbo diesel setup, which is great. But they really thought this Premier trim through really well to make it have the things that you need and want, especially when you compare it to the competition. But I'm hoping that this overall review has been a good one for you on this Suburban. We're gonna get back to Dimmitt Chevrolet and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day, a windy day, but a great day here at Dimmitt Chevrolet. Definitely gotta thank Eli, Raheel, and the rest of the team getting us access to this 2024 Chevrolet Suburban Premier trim. Let me know what you think. Is this the best way to go compared to the competition? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Of course, none of this would be possible without the most patient person in the world, Stephen Flood, Stephen Flood Photography. Some people say he has a temper. It's not true. He is patient, just like a Buddhist monk up on a hill in Nepal meditating. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.